What's up, gamers? We've got another fun set of modern Magic for you here on this fine Monday. Hope everyone's doing well. We've got Bant Landfall versus Orzhov Zombies. So these are two of those like fun brews that players have been rocking out at the shop on and off, as they're kind of tweaking and adjusting and changing their builds, trying to kind of fine tune things over, putting in the reps, because as you start playing new decks or learning new decks or trying to build your own decks, right, or tweak people's existing lists, you get to start to really fine-tune stuff. So this is the exciting stuff. So we've got Bant Landfall we featured on the channel before. It is kind of a old school style of strategy, but that has kind of fused with the new style of the Modern Horizons 3 cards. Of course, our Green Sun Zenith has been unbanned, but it reminds me very much of the Nadu style with the specific cards that are running in it. Springheart and Tuco is in here, Bristly Bill, like these sort of like, we care about lands, so why would we not? But it also has a combo built in where you can just kind of one-shot somebody with Knight of Reliquary, utilizing the Retreat to Core Helm. So we'll see if that does come relevant, but we've got, of course, some removal helping us out with Prismatic Ending here and starting to poke our opponent down. The other side of things, we've seen a couple different zombie lists pop up on the channel from time to time. Sometimes it's the Golgari one, sometimes it's the Orzhov one. Now the Orzhov one is an aristocrat style zombie list. Things like this is Corpse Knight. Whenever another creature enters, you're going to start shredding, and that sort of death of 1,000 cut style that aristocrats is known for. So we're going to see how relevant this is going to be. Both battlefields are going to be, kind of gummed up with creatures, so it is going to be reliant on how we can kind of bust through that stalemate with both decks here. So we're going to see, the turn one Dryad Arbor definitely helps with an immediate ramp. That does make things a little bit easier. Now, of course, if you are interested in either of these decks, they are on our Moxfield link, so you can take a look. If for whatever reason you cannot find it, let us know. Or if there's a specific deck that you're like, hey, I really want to see this deck on camera or on Moxfield links, can you let me know? Is there a Rook Thar in there? Is this list running Rook Thar? Yeah, we got a 6 getting added to the list. I think that's cool. We don't get to see that as much as a card. Like every so often you'll see it pop up in a list, but those are the kind of stuff that I enjoy seeing, is when we get these like very specific nuance cards that don't see as much play start showing up in specific lists as players are testing them out. So I don't know if it'll be relevant, but a 2/4 with reach is still pretty relevant. Also, it gets to help do some milling of cards and putting some lands and doing some shenanigans with their lands. So yeah, 6 is solid. It is very like, we got to see a Rook Thar into the graveyard there, but for the most part, the list is very much a 3-drop is the top end. There are a few exceptions to this. Oh, another Prismatic Ending. All right, let's follow it up with another Corpse Knight and a Maggot Carrier. What year is this? When Maggot Carrier comes into play, each opponent loses 1 life. So both players are going to lose a life, and of course, our Bant Landfall player will lose a second one because our Corpse Knight will trigger as well. Again, so yeah, there's the trigger. So there's confusion of whether or not this is the gaining one or whether it is just the draining one, because there is a zombie that does also care about creatures entering. Gain and drain is built into that one. I think that's the Wayward Servant one, or the Wayward one from Amonkhet. Yeah, so yeah, they are clarifying, confirming life totals and everything. I was like, okay, yeah, 14, 17, cool. Got some blockers here. Let's see what we can do of setting up. And the idea of the Orzhov list is you're playing a bunch of zombies, you're going to sacrifice a bunch of zombies, and then you're going to bring them back from the graveyard, do some sort of reanimation, and just sort of have a big drain effect happen all at once and be like, okay, I've got a bunch of Corpse Knights, I had 5 zombies enter, and 2 of them were Corpse Knights, so let's just sort of shred you, ping, 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 and get you that way. So it's a very cool deck. Yeah, here's another Corpse Knight. Let's just kind of, again, double it up. That'll, of course, cause 1 point of damage. Knight of Reliquary came out, though, for a Bant Landfall, so that means it's a danger turn. Oh, another maggot carrier. So that's 3 damage that's going to get shredded across on our landfall player, and we'll take 1 there. Do some fetching, do some shocking. Yeah, I guess we're going to, like, we're real close to, like, just draining them out here. Really, we need that, like, carrion feeder, the sacrifice effect, and then a reanimation effect, and then we basically are setting ourselves up for the victory here. So we're seeing how low can you go? How much damage can we deal this turn? Because this is that, like, danger window that we're in right now. Now the reliquary is out. Does our opponent have the retreat? Are they still digging for it? Like, where are they at right now in that department? All right, offering cuts, doing all that fun stuff. Yeah, I was playing. One of these days, we're going to be able to showcase it. Oh, Crypt Breaker's coming out. Okay. Yeah, so this, of course, allows us to discard stuff. Works really well because we can discard stuff to our graveyard, allow us to be able to bring them back, but also make more zombies. So if you already have your Corpse Knight, helps you out. And then you can start tapping untapped zombies and be able to draw a card. Yeah, we're going to do some blocking here, which we're perfectly fine with because we want our creatures to die. So we it said, yeah, sorry, this Weiss token, I think it's Weiss, is an 0-1. That's actually my Eldrazi spawn. It's not a 1-1. I mean, I'm all for using other tokens as my token. Okay, here we go. Retreat to Korhelm. Landfall. I'm going to hold priority with this trigger, and I'm going to respond and tap this to sacrifice a land and go tutor for a land. Well, specifically, I have to sacrifice a forest or a plains to do this. And we'll get a Yavimaya. Yeah, you can tutor for any land, right? Put it on the battlefield, shuffle your library, and Yavimaya turns all of our lands into forests, so we can just kind of go through that loop of, well, I can get every land that I want and keep on tapping. And you have a tapped creature. All your creatures are tapped. So I'm okay. I can go through my lands now, and my knight will be big enough. I just have to make it into 12 power. So here's a couple of lands. Let me show you. If for whatever reason we do have that way to, of course, give it protection from black, if there happened to have been one creature left to block, one of our lands does give us protection from the color of our choice. So there we go. Of course, that was very nice of our landfall player to kind of offer up and say, hey, if you would like to see my lands, I will happily let you see, because I'm going to go through my whole list to find all my lands. But all right, game 2, sideboard stuff. Again, we cut out all the sideboarding stuff, so you don't have to worry about players looking at a face down mode. Back when we did our live streaming stuff of the coverage and didn't do as much editing through all the footage, we got to sit there and do all of that talking through and discussing, potential sideboard choices that the players are going to bring in or not bring in. But that is not going to be the case anymore, because now we spend so much time editing, so we can be able to put up each individual cards for you all to be able to, notice and enjoy and see, help make things a little bit easier for everybody. All right, sacrifice and the outlet coming out. Carrion feeder, can't block. We're all in on the attacks here. All right, what do we got? Do we have a turn 1? Oh, no, I was like, do we have a turn 1 Dryad Arbor again with the Green Sun Zenith? Not this time. Let's do some surveilling. Leave it on top. Yeah, I know. I'm big on the surveil lands. Need more of them. Need more shock lands. Need more fetch lands. Basically, just get as much land base as I can. There's the one we were talking about. Yeah, right? The Wayward Servant. So the Amonkhet one, I guess they reprinted it in that, what is that? The Gotta Go Fast, one of the commander decks. Aether Drift. There we go. Gotta go fast. Come on. Everybody understood exactly what I was saying, right? So that's the one that when a zombie enters, you get to do the drain and gain there. So how are we going to respond here? We're still just kind of poking with the Karen feeder. Oh, there is the... Okay, we already got the rally. Perfect. Shocking in the Temple Garden, so we're going to be kind of pushing for some damage here. Bristly Bill is going to be a pretty good, solid boy to help us out. That's, like I said, it's got some of the Nadu pieces, so if, you know, into that. Oh, Corpse Knight. Let's do a little gain and drain off our Wayward Servant. So Bristly Bill can get out of hand very quickly. So being able to deal with it a little bit is very nice. And again, because we have the rally in hands, we can sort of push for damage and be okay. Eat both of these. Kill the Bristly Bill. Put 2 counters on it. 3/3 eats the 2/2. Now, there's no drain effects on the battlefield, but that's okay. We don't care about them being on the battlefield anymore. All right. I mean, we talk about how important going first is in Modern, and we're already starting to see it. Prismatic Ending here. I mean, now, I think in that situation, you can sacrifice Karen Feeder to itself, right? I think it's just sacrifice a creature. Yeah, sacrifice a creature, put a +1 counter on this creature. So similar to like the Arcbound Ravager, I'll sacrifice Karen Feeder to itself to be able to do that. So that definitely would have been a little nuanced thing of like, if my goal is reanimation, I need to fill my graveyard up, eat, and try not to let them exile it. And because I have the Karen Feeder, I do have that flexibility to be able to, you know, interact a little bit more and put that in the graveyard as well. We'll see if it is relevant or not in this match, but for any players that are seeing this and going, ooh, this seems like a fun deck, I'd love to test it out and play with it. These little nuanced tricks. But we always appreciate when people are leaving comments as well of like, oh, this works this way, or, you know, try to see and point out specific lines that players might have missed on camera. Because, you know, in the heat of the moment, it's much more difficult than us having like almost perfect knowledge of the top-down view, being able to sit here and really evaluate and take the time to go through, you know, the specific lines compared to being in the moment and sitting down at a table and playing. Springheart and Tuco, again, another Nadu piece coming out. And now this other token. This is our 1/1 insect. Can't you tell? Very insect-like. No, I don't know. I never played the whatever card game that one was from, so I could not tell you any information about it. But maybe that's why I think it's Weiss. Maybe not. I don't know. Somebody that's more knowledgeable, leave a comment and let me know. What is it? What are we looking at here? All right, swarming with the insects now. And a birthing ritual suite. This kind of can turn our insects into 1-drops. It can turn our 2-drops, or our birds of paradise into a 2-drop, and our 2-drop into, you know, a 3-drop. Or vice versa, right? We can do some... It's got it, like, you have to sacrifice a creature, but only if you're going to pick something. You can look at the top 7 and go, I don't want any of these, and put them all on the bottom. Or you look at the top 7 and you go, oh, I can't pick any of these, right, and put them on the bottom. But if you're running Birthing Ritual, you're probably going to have some number in there. Okay, yeah, that works a little well. Again, more Nadu pieces. It's like sending a message saying, hey, if you liked playing Nadu, here's a weaker version of Nadu, but still you got to use those cards that you picked up. I'm actually considering taking all of my Nadu pieces and building a Canadian Highlander deck with them. But we'll see. Crypt Breaker number 2 coming out. I like that. Just sort of passing the turn. We can do some blocking. We can draw some cards. We're basically 1 mana short on our reanimation here. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Make another insect. Wait, aren't the other ones insects? Are you attacking with these? Yeah, okay, that's why. All right. 2 different tokens. One's attacking, one's not. Do some blocking before damage. Of course, we will lose a life, draw card. Gravecrawler. And then we'll trade an insect for a zombo. And when that one dies, of course, we do get to make a treasure. So even if we didn't get our 4th land, we've got a treasure to help us get there. All right. Triggering on the end step. Birthing ritual. Find us something good. There. Okay, so Springheart Nanduko has done the job that we needed. Now we can get Knight out. And with Sylvan Safekeeper here, we have a lot more protection. So if there was any, you know, fatal pushes or dismembers or stuff like that, like, we are feeling pretty good. Okay. What we got? 3 in the graveyard right now. Okay, Wayward Servant. Gravecrawler. Do the drain and gain. 13 to 18 now. And a non-blocker, but that's okay. We can cast it from our graveyard. All right, 4 right now currently. Let's do... Ooh, okay. I like this. Sylvan Safekeeper. Sack this to make the Knight a 5/5. All of our 1/1s. All right, the Crypt Breakers are 1/1, so that the 4/4 damage really it makes it seem like, oh, awesome. We basically force them into a triple block that they failed at being successful at. But really, it's all part of the plan that the Orzhov Zombie players wants all these stuff in the graveyard here. Because now we have 3 drain effects and 3 more creatures. Oh. Okay. 4 lands, untapped. Do we go for it here? Bring the beats. Block with the 1/1. Let that die. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zombies and 3 drain effects. That's so much damage. Malevolent Rebel, yep. Ooh. Okay. Endurance? Going to the graveyard. We don't need it. I don't know. That seems risky here. Bring the Bristly Bill and the Knight of Reliquary. How big is he? 7/9. That's pretty big. All right, pop in. It looks like it's time. Attempt to cast a rally. So here we're going to return each creature with mana cost X or less, which is all of these creatures. So there are 3 drain effects. So that means, and 4 other zombies coming in. All right, but a total of 7 creatures. So essentially every single one is enough to kill. But the endurance. So we put one in the graveyard because we already had one. No. Dang. So that was it right there. We had set up for that big moment. And we were just kind of blown out by an endurance. Oh, that hurts. I don't know. That was so that was going to be so good. I mean, yeah, 7 creatures. Someone help me with the math here. 7 creatures are entering. So 21 damage each, right? Or 6 damage. Each one will deal 6. Because they look at the other zombies entering. Right? So there's 7 creatures entering. 3 times 6 there. Yeah, 18, more or less. I don't know. Someone with better math skills. I'm an English teacher. I'm not a math teacher right now. All right, so we got a Champion of the Perished and a Gravecrawler coming. Let's see what we can do. Birds. Meh. It's just, again, gumming up the board, making blockers. Our goal here is to just kind of beat our opponent down. Like, we don't have to worry so much about the, Knight of Reliquary and the Retreat of the Core Helm combo right now. We're just sort of in, hey, here's this big beefy dude, then I'm going to swing at you every turn. Do you have a way to deal with this? All right. Trigger. I like Birthing Ritual is so good for being able to just look through and get information about your deck. Like your, oh, keen-eyed curator here. Look at the little trash panda here, Mr. Raccoon Scout. Gives us the ability to kind of eat things from graveyards. If you have eaten basically delirium worth of stuff, you then get to give it +4/+4. All right, little Zombo coming in. We've got, of course, another Corpse Knight. Chamber of the Bear is going to get eaten. All right, so we'll eat it up. Eat a creature. Eat an instant. What else do we got? Let me grab a land. Oh, grab a sorcery. Well, we also don't want to eat lands. Because Knight of Reliquary cares about lands. And, oh, okay, that works. Springheart. So I guess we didn't have to eat the creature but from our opponents, but it does benefit us eating the creature. So we've got Springheart and Tutor, which is an enchantment creature because it's got the bestowness. So we are at a 8/8 trampler. How many lands we got? Let's see. 14 damage. Whew. Ow. All right, Birthing Ritual. We have one turn to try to make something happen, but not gonna matter. We had to rally the ancestors again. So like we were set up like if our opponent countered our first rally, we had the second one to follow it up, but we were not ready for the endurance. Ugh. Oh, so that is a big thing. Like the Bant Landfall player said, I had played against this deck before, so I knew exactly what I needed and needed to have all my endurances ready to deal with you, or I was just going to die there. So that, is definitely one of the benefits of playing lots of matches, playing against different decks, even the kind of off-meta decks, to see and experience different types of gameplays to kind of understand the lines of different decks. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, we've got more gameplay action coming out every Monday and Thursday for our paper stuff, and Saturdays for our MTGO content. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next game.